These are called Kendra, or wait, no, not Kendra. Kenda. Kenda cleavers. That's what these are. Got two here, and the other two on the other side of the motorcycle. Has a nice aggressive tread. The tread's probably what, maybe like an inch deep. They're 265. Oh man, are they heavy too, guys? I think they're 265. Yeah, they're 265, 70, 17. They go on 17-inch rims. Yeah, see, there it is down there. Light truck, 265. What is that? 170 R17s. They fit the Jeep. That's what the Jeep has. That's what the Rubicon has. So now I just have to bring them down on my boy, and my boy's going to put them on. Those tires, guys. Oh yeah, man, they're nice, man. I love them. Yeah, those are called Kendra. No, Kenda. Kenda cleaver tires. They're supposed to be real good tires. So we got, you know what? I hope it snows. I hope it snows a lot this year. Well, guys, I'm starting to get my back. My back is starting to get back in shape. I was able to take my dog for a walk yesterday, and I paid for it with my back later on. But I'm coming around. My best advice for anyone out there is do not crack your back. You will pay for it when you get older. The chiropractors say it's, that's what the chiropractors do, but for me, I had bad experience with that. It just, what it seems to do is it just destroys your back muscles. What I wanted to show you guys is, by the way, it's raining outside once again. Yesterday was a really nice day. It was like 90 degrees, but I had to take my dog out. Real bad walk for her, but I have water. I have ice water for her. And I don't know if you guys ever seen the little dog. They're like portable things you carry for the dog. You can find them on Amazon. They're about. I actually have two of them. I have a small one, and I have a large one. There's like an area where you put the water in, and there's like a little cup for them to drink out of. You press a button and it lets water into the cup. And what I do is I put ice water in there, and I refrigerate the water overnight. That way in the morning the water's cold, and I put ice in there. And it lasts a long while. So I took her, I think I walked her about a mile and a half yesterday, and she was really just overheated from that. So today I wanted to make a ride video, but it's raining, and we're gonna have a real bad storm around 1 o'clock. But I got to show you guys this house that I found up in Forest County. Okay, this one right here for $99,000. And where the hell? Where's my little hand at? There it is. Alright. There we go. Got a little stream right in front of the property. I like the way the inside is. The inside's like real primitive board. I wonder if this is even, I don't even think this is insulated, which that could be a problem up there. I think this is all electric heat too. That's your backyard. You basically you have no neighbors, guys. The upstairs isn't finished, and this sits on, I think, almost 2 acres. Yeah, it sits on 1.9 for almost 2 acres for 99,000. But this is under contract. The electric baseboard heat comes with a range and refrigerator, 200 amp breaker, and see, it's under contract. This is actually under a contingent contract, meaning someone put money down on the house and they'll buy it as long as their house sells. I think they have like maybe 3, 4, 5 months, something like that. Now I'll show you where this sits. Go to maps. This is where it sits. There's nothing around it, this is perfect for me. You have no homes. This is the closest home right here. And this is Route 62, and Tionesta's down here. That's where that sits. So it's probably about maybe 70 miles from Pittsburgh. That's what I want. I want something like that. Now, if I were ready, I'd buy that. That is perfect. And I could literally go out my back door, set up some targets, and I could shoot my AK-47s or my AR-15s out there, or that hand cannon, without no one bitching. That is absolutely a perfect spot. Now, since there's no homes on the street, I think you can opt in or opt out for garbage pickup, because that's right. Your driveway's off of Route 62, but you're not on a street, so possibly you won't even have to pay for garbage pickup. But if I could afford garbage pickup, I'll pay for garbage pickup. And the only bill you'll have there is your internet and your electricity, because it has its own water well, so you have your own water. And yeah, so just electricity, and the only house bills, the only residential bills will be electricity and your internet. Because there's no gas, you don't have any gas hookup. So you have to have an electric stove, or in the summer you try to barbecue as much as you can. That's how you live out in the country. And maybe save yourself up some rainwater. You can. It depends how your water is with your well. You might have to buy bottled water to drink with, and you wash with well water. Or you get like some barrels, and you guide your roof gutters into the barrel. That way, when it rains, you fill your barrels up, and you can use your barrels to wash dishes and stuff like that. And that's out in the country. That's what you have to do when you have well water, when you have your own well, because you try to conserve the water in your well as much as possible. Because some wells, they won't last very long. They just have so much water flowing per minute through them. And on the other hand, some wells just might last forever. But that's how living out when you have your own water well, guys. That's what you have to do. And you might have to also have a heater for your water pump in the well. Out there, it might freeze. Then you won't have any water until summer comes and it thaws out. So I'm not sure about that because I've never had I've never had my own well, so I might be wrong about that. But that place is that's what I want. I'd love not to have no neighbors like that. And why not? I mean, here nobody on the street even says hello to us. We only have the new neighbors here next door is a young couple. They are the only ones since I lived on this street, and they're new. They've been in there a couple years now. They're the only ones that have ever sent us a Christmas card. Everybody else on this street, they act like we're invisible. So why not move to a place like that? Those days of your neighbors all interacting with each other, guys, those days are gone. They're gone. That's how it was on my old street. This street here, I couldn't even tell you what half these people look like. But on my old street, everybody knew each other. All the neighbors talked to each other. Here, I couldn't tell you what half these people look like. I've been living here since 1982. I couldn't tell you I couldn't tell you what they look like. Now, let's cover the city of Pittsburgh a little bit. If you live in the city of Pittsburgh and you don't have a driveway, so you're going to have to park your car on the street in front of your house. Okay? You have to have a parking permit. Also, if you want to go visit one of your buddies in the city of Pittsburgh, you also have to have a permit to park in front of their house. The city of Pittsburgh just doubled the residential parking rates, the residential parking permits. It was $40 per car. So in other words then, and the visitor parking rate is $10. So if you want to go visit a friend, someone you know that lives in the city of Pittsburgh, you have to buy a parking pass and put it in your windshield when you park in front of your buddy's house. If you live there, you have to pay $80 per vehicle now to park in front of your own house. They just raised the electricity here. They just raised that on us. People in Pittsburgh, guys, are literally struggling. They're literally struggling to make ends meet. And all this is going to do is just make it even worse on them. That's all it's going to do is just make it even worse. And they don't care. They don't care. So I told you guys before, nobody cares. See, this is why I want to move to a place like I just showed you out in the woods. Out there, you're on your own, okay? Out there, you make up your own rules. You can survive out there being on Social Security. You don't need a pension and all kind of money to live out there. That's all you need is a little bit of Social Security, and you can live out there in the woods. It ain't gonna be something that everyone likes, okay? Because you're not gonna see no people. You're gonna also have bears that may try to come inside your house. But That's what I choose. So the city of Pittsburgh just raised, they doubled the residential parking permit rate. I did take my bike to work. I took my bike to work on, I think it was Tuesday. And I came in, coming back, guys, I sat in traffic. I mean, there's just, I may never take my motorcycle to work again, at least until the construction around here is over. There's 3 ways for me to get home, and 2 of the ways are under construction, and it's backed up with traffic. You literally sit there for like a half an hour, and it's stop and go every couple feet. Then the other way, it's like a road race. It's like if you play a video game, it's like a road race. Everyone knows that's a shortcut, and trust me, these people are crazy. They get on that road, boy, and God help you if you're in front of one of them. And that's how bad it is here. It's that bad. I'm actually scared to ride a motorcycle around here. There's almost nowhere you can go here to have a safe ride, unless you maybe take the turnpike and go away from this area. And it's just bad here. Part of me wishes I would have just sold the big dog and not bought another motorcycle. A motorcycle around here, it's just, I'm gonna tell you the honest God truth, it's a waste of money. You can't use a motorcycle around here. It's not even the condition of the roads. It's just dangerous with people in their SUVs and crossovers. It's just plain dangerous. Yeah, that's what I'll be happy with doing, guys. Living, if I could buy something like that, and there's a lot of places like that up in Tynesta. Because what people do, most people that live in Tynesta, they moved up there from Pittsburgh, like I want to do, because they go up there to get away from all the crazies here. And then I guess they find that they just can't take that kind of solitude, and they put the house up for sale or the camp. Many of them, they build these places for hunting camps, and they find out that it's just not worth it, or something happens to them in their life where they need money. But you see, for me and my wife, people really don't like us. Okay, people don't prefer us. For me, that's how it's always been. Not too many people like me. So knowing that, I don't force myself on people. I would rather move out to a place like that where I don't have any neighbors, and be by myself and live with my wife and my animals, and not be looked down on by people. I've heard it from my own sister's mouth that we are not in her norm. That's what she said to me through a video 4 or 5 months ago. The last time I talked to her was in, I think it was maybe the 2nd or 3rd of January. I haven't talked to her since. And she told me in the video that me and my wife are not in her norm. And first of all, that doesn't get me down like it used to. But the best thing for someone like us is to live by ourselves. And it's not going to be very easy to do, especially the older you get, the harder it's going to get to live out there. But that's the hand of cards God dealt me. If I got to die out there, and they'll find me maybe weeks later or months later, then so be it. That's the hand I'm dealt. That's the hand I accept. And we don't have any children, that are going to fight us about that. So most people that have children, kids aren't, they're not going to want to go up there. They're not going to want to move in something like that. The kids are going to fight their mother and father tooth and nail about moving into a place like that. Because first of all, they're not going to have any friends. There's not going to be no kids around for them to play with. The parents are going to have to drive them to school, unless the school bus can stop on that route. But they're going to have to drive their kids down the driveways like 1 or 2 blocks long. You're going to have to drive your kids down to where the highway is. You're going to have to wait for the school bus. And then winters up there are even worse than here. They're even worse. Speaking of winters, I haven't had those tires put on my Jeep yet, guys. I'm going to probably have them put on, maybe next week I'll have them put on. Either next week or at the end of the month, I'll have those things put on there. I'm not in any rush. I got a little bit of life left on these tires here. Maybe I'll just use that up. I also bought a drop hitch adapter. It's gonna lower my basket a little bit, and my bike ramp, or my bike rack. It's gonna lower it about 6 inches. That way, the bike's not going to be so hard to lift up on the bike rack. And I can actually open the tailgate of the Jeep with that drop hitch adapter on. Once I put that basket on the back, once I put that big cargo basket on the back of the Jeep, because right now, if you open it, it hits the cargo basket. So that's why I should have thought of it before. I didn't never think of it. So I bought a 6-inch hitch drop adapter. That way there I'll be able to open the cargo basket. Oh, I don't know if I told you guys about the boots I got coming in. I bought a pair of Ashley Irish Setter boots, wedge sole boots. I think Red Wing makes those. I might be wrong though, but that's what they're called. They're called Irish Setter Ashley model. I should be getting those next week because I bought them. I'm hoping they'll help my posture a little bit. You see, when I walk slunched over because of my back. My back hurts. And that makes my back even worse. Walking slunched over like that just puts more strain on your back muscles. So I'm hoping maybe these boots will help my posture. Maybe I can walk having my posture straight. I hope it does. Look how my gun went up, guys. I think I paid $950 for this about 2-3 years ago. It went up to $1,030. That's the same model right there. Now, if you want to get one in, this is 308. That's almost $1,500. But Americans, guys, Americans right now are in a state of insanity. You got people making an excuse to carry a firearm, to carry a sidearm or pistol in their vehicle. They make excuses to have a carry license. And the only reason why they want to have a carry on them, whether in their vehicle, their SUV, is because that gives them gun balls. It makes them feel like it emboldens them, is what it does. It makes them feel like they have more authority to do whatever they want to do. And I think it's because the generations of people that exist right now are weak. They're weak and soft and stupid. The people that were on the road in the 70s did whatever they wanted also. And almost nobody carried a pistol except for the police, and people drove the way they wanted back then. So you can't tell me, oh, people need it to protect their children. What kind of area are you going in that's so bad? What kind of area? And my question to them: if you need a pistol to protect your family, your wife and your children, or if you don't have children, just your wife, if you need a pistol to protect them, what kind of area are you driving through? It's so bad where you have to have a pistol. Why don't you avoid it? And it is those areas are avoidable. And it's like here in Pittsburgh, we have the Hill District. There's a road called Wiley Avenue. It's real bad, and we have Webster Avenue. It's real bad. If you're not the correct race, you'll get a stone thrown at you, possibly even carjacked if you drive through there. And I don't drive through. Matter of fact, the last time I went through there was probably 35 years ago, and I won't be going through there again. So I'm not going to get a pistol and carry a pistol with me just so I can drive through there. And that's what I think people are arming themselves up for, especially a carry licenses. It just gives them gun balls. And around here, all you see is people brandishing. There's a lot of reports about people pointing weapons at each other on the highways around here. And apparently, they're getting away with it because there's no police on the highways around here anymore. Around here, basically it's just a free for all. You do whatever you want on the road. Guns, guys, are nice to have, but you should have a gun. I don't think you necessarily have to carry one, and they're expensive to shoot. Now they're no longer cheap to shoot like it used to be. And you have to find the time. It's like with me, I can't even find the time. Some of my guns I've had them for 3 years. I can't find time to go to a shooting range, because I don't live in the mountains where I can just go outside my back door. I don't have a desert near me. I don't have country near me. So I have to go to a shooting range, and the closest shooting range to me is 15 miles away. And that's if I can get a lane. That's not guaranteed that I'll go in there and there's an open lane. There's an open shooting booth. Unless if you buy a membership, which I think a membership here, I think it's like $400 a year. I'll bring it up. Okay, this is probably the best place near me. This is where I would go if I would shoot any of my guns. Let me see. Memberships. We don't want corporate. We don't need VIP. VIP membership is $160 a month. This is $40 a month, so $480 a year right here. And with this one here, you got free range time, no contact required, so you could just basically walk right in. Online range, whereas you can reserve a lane. 35% off of gun rentals. $10 an hour for second shooter, same lane. 15 off of classes. You can even have guns sent to them also. Like if you want to reserve a lane, reserve range time. But these people that have the memberships, they come first. And this place here, I believe it's about 14 miles away from me. Okay, here's the address right here. Yeah, I know right where this is. Okay, this is 17, 18 miles away. It takes about a half an hour to get out there. And that's with no traffic. All right, I'll be right in. I'm almost done here. And that's why, guys, I don't go shooting like everybody else does. And then just trying to get out to these places. This place is there's something wrong with these people around here. I'm telling you, it is just so congested around here. It's I mean I don't know if I don't think it's me because I've looked at videos. I've even looked at videos from freaking Los Angeles, and the roads are not backed up there like they are here. And the whole problem is the whole problem around here is we have two roads, and they're both roads that are built. They were built in the 1940s, and they just can't handle the amount of vehicles that are on the roads today and the kind of vehicles that exist today. And that's the whole problem around here. And it's not going to change, not for a long time. Probably 100 years after I'm dead and gone, it still won't change. Man, is that good? That's peach tea. That's to die for. That is out of this world. Yeah, that place is nice up there, guys. Man, I wish I had a lousy $100,000. That place is awesome. Let's take another look at that. Now, this real estate company, Buford and Henry, they only deal with country real estate. I found them I found them like maybe 30, 40 years ago when we were first thinking of moving away from here. We were looking at houses that were like out in Du Bois. We were looking at homes in St. Mary's. You guys that aren't from Pennsylvania, St. Mary's and Du Bois, it's about 60, 70 miles away, maybe even 90 miles away from here. So, all right. And why the hell am I itchy? Okay, let's put in Tianasta. This is a nice place right here, but that's too much money. And some of these other ones here, like this trailer, these are shacks. This is probably room. This is probably like an efficiency with a bathroom. These are pretty nice actually. These two right here. But this place is what I like, guys. Just because of where it's sitting. So this is basically a log cabin. Is what that is. It has electricity to it. I think there's a well and a septic tank. That's a little creek, which that'll dry up. Probably when it rains, that's when you get a lot of water in there. I'll tell you what, though, I don't. You know what this might just be insulated from the wood planks. This doesn't have any hood. You're going to need a hood, an exhaust hood for the sink. A couple cabinets. You can always buy like a kitchen organizer for that. Bathroom's not bad. Shower's nice actually. And this is the bedroom. Now let's do a search, a regular search without Tynesta. So what we're going to be looking for, our price is going to be the 200,000 will be the most we can afford. Now, this place here looks pretty nice. 2 acres. Let's see here. See, what you want to look for, guys, is this has no hood, no exhaust hood. And then what you want to do is you want to look to see where these people are putting all their stuff, because that's probably what you're going to wind up doing. You're going to wind up doing the same thing. Doesn't show the furnace or anything. This looks like a post office or a bank. I don't even know if that's residential. Half acre. This is under contract too. See, the bad thing with a trailer is even if it's double wide, you have that skirting. Unless if it was built on blocks, then it's bolted down to the blocks. But if it has an axle with wheels on it, you know, number one, what's going to happen if you get a good wind in there, it's going to move it. Might topple it over. Then you have the skirting around it. If the skirting is to keep air out, to keep a breeze up from going underneath it and freezing it. You know, a trailer is like I said, unless if it's bolted down to a foundation, I wouldn't buy a trailer unless if I absolutely have to buy a trailer. Now, if you have a trailer in the woods, you're not going to have to worry about a heavy wind coming along, like a 90-mile-an-hour wind, where it's going to move it or possibly even topple it over, because the trees are going to basically they're going to stop that kind of wind. But having something way out in the open like that, I would never be able to feel safe in the thing. All right, guys, I'm going to try to go for a ride tomorrow. Well, let's see what the weather's going to be tomorrow morning. Okay, tomorrow is supposed to be cloudy, and we might have scattered storms in the morning. That's maybe, maybe not. There's like all these little. If any of you get a chance to look at the country's radar, there's like these little patches all over the place. So that may not happen. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about. I've seen a couple videos where these guys they they're on sports bikes and they're approaching a one percenter motorcycle group, and the group stops them from passing them or stops them from even riding close with them. And these guys think that they have the right. The guys on the sport bikes, they think they have the right to ride close to these motorcycle groups, these motorcycle club groups, I should say. And you don't have the right, actually. You don't. Number one, you shouldn't pass them unless if you ask permission to pass them. And number two, you should not ride close to their pack. Because by you riding close to your pack, they think that you're trying to mimic yourself as a member. And trust me, if they're a one percenter group, if they're a one percenter club group, they will do everything that they have to do to stop you from riding with their pack. And for you guys that just don't understand that, you need to take this advice, or you might wind up, God forbid, you might wind up in a hospital. Because these guys, if you come across some of the well-known one percenter motorcycle clubs, these guys don't back down. Okay, they're prepared to go to prison. They're prepared to die for their cause. They do not back down. They will stop you from riding close to their group. Especially well, all of them actually, but the guys in back, that's their job. They're closing the back door. That's what they do. The guys that ride in the back, they're making sure the back door is closed. I saw a video where a guy on a sports bike, he was coming real close, and some of the club members were in an SUV, and they're trying to tell him to get back. And he's saying, why? That's a big no-no. You just do what they say. Because first of all, they're going to remember that bike. They're going to remember the sports bike. Okay? These people ain't stupid. They're going to remember. And they may even take your plate down and come to your house and have a talk with you. That's why you guys don't expect respect, just respect. Or otherwise, you should not be on a motorcycle. What I would do if I would come across a one percenter motorcycle club group, I would slow down to where they would get on down the road where I'd lose them basically. I would slow down where they would go down the road. Now, if they were going real slow to where I wouldn't be able to do that, I'll actually pull off to the side and park my bike for maybe a good 15 minutes until I think they're way down the road somewhere. Okay, that might be the best thing to do. But I am not going to try. I'm not going to even ask them if I can pass them. I'm not going to even try that. You know, even if there's like 4 or 5 of them, I'm still not going to ask them if I can pass. I'm going to just let them go down the road. If I have to, I will pull my bike over and I'll park it until they're on down the road. You know, because I'm not out there to bother these people.